Live, mate.
Yeah.
And only 5 issues in, and we've got Ladybird.
Well, because here we all are talking about the Kent scene, and you're proving that it exists.
Well, there you go. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I think probably what we should do
Yes, mate.
is start off with the obligatory questions
Yes.
of how do you feel? You're
then
playing.
And then the philosophical ones come later.
That's right. Yeah.
Cool.
So
We're good at them.
obviously it's been a mad 6 months for you guys.
Yes.
What could you describe the last sort of couple of months? How it's got we've seen you. What's it been like?
Yeah, quick, steep incline, but really pleasurable, sort of steady pace, really. Basically just suddenly feel like the wheels are in motion for our creative endeavours, but also like for people actually listening and getting to hear what we're creating.
Yeah.
So that's been like the main highlight for me, really, and just writing lots, gigging lots, doing all the things we've always wanted to do.
I've seen you on a sort of a mini tour. I see. Is it an official tour? Or are you still just playing gig to gig? What's the?
Yes, gig to gig at the moment. We did 3 dates for the EP release, which were unbelievable. Playing in all the one in Brighton, one in Tunbridge Wells, one in London. So the places that we've been hitting up most so far, and getting to walk out onto a stage each night with our fans in the room suddenly, and getting beckoned by whatever we were. It was
it's been a
transformation.
surreal kind of. I don't know, like certainly for me, I've known I've always wanted to play music and just do that basically. So when we're just doing our thing, really with no regard for anybody else, we're just sort of writing songs and playing music, and we've had that conversation really early on that we just do this whether whatever happens really. So for it to be this well received and for people to be getting on board and interested in supporting us in our journey, it's very humbling. But also,
Lovely.
Yeah, also lovely. It takes all that hard work. And to see
Were you
something
sort of
back.
friends before? Was it something you guys got together and thought, we want to create a band, or was it just jam sessions? What was it?
Sam's best to describe this one probably. And we've all got input. You'll see.
Yeah. Well, I'll try and capture this one for you, but essentially. I'm going to start that answer again. Totally. It's been amazing. So at the venue we sat at the back of is the Forum, and we used to all play here as sort of youngsters growing up in our teenage bands, and we would sort of change lineups from time to time, and I'd had the pleasure of watching these guys a whole bunch of times perform in various different bands over the years. And I think I was actually living in London when I sort of started to have this sort of burning desire to start a new project, and I just couldn't get these two guys' faces out of my mind, and so I didn't actually know them, but could connect with them through the mediums of Royal Tunbridge Wells and social media.
We hadn't because we played together on bills before, so we kind of knew each other. We were kind of we were friends at a level that would be kind of like, all right, mate, how you doing? What you up to? Blah blah.
Yeah.
But beyond that, it was kind of, so yeah.
So I tracked them down, and we started rocking Tuesdays and Thursdays in Crowborough in a farm, and then here we are.
So the EP's out.
Yes.
How's that going?
It's
It's
amazing.
going lovely.
It's
Got to start thinking about the next one now, haven't we?
Yeah. Are you writing at the moment? Is it
Always
ongoing?
writing. Always
Yeah,
writing.
ongoing writing.
It's good to just be constantly having. It just keeps those juices flowing. It keeps your. Because obviously you get to a point where you're playing. You're pushing the EP and playing that, but like keeping those creative juices flowing at all times, I think is really key. So we try to never stop.
Yeah. So the first song that we heard was Social Potions, which is what we featured on our playlist, our Tune of the Day playlist.
That's my
A
favourite.
long time ago now, it seems. But obviously Spoons was the one that sort of broke you. In many ways, maybe. I don't know. What was that like? Was it just? It seemed to just every radio station was playing it. It seemed like.
Yeah, I remember someone sort of saying to us like, "Oh yeah, look, check it out. You I think it was the Spotify 50, Viral 50 or something, wasn't it?" And I was like, "What?" And then seeing that, and then I couldn't believe how many people were listening to it. So that was a mind blower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, right. Let's move on to the philosophy.
Right.
Where would you like to be in 3 years' time?
Still doing this.
Yeah?
Yes. So I nearly fell
That's
off.
a really good question, and you know that me and Joe are really going to think about this.
Yeah.
So, like, where would you
Why
want to
haven't
go?
I thought about that yet?
You know this is going to be a question that's going to come up at some point.
I just like playing as much as possible and meeting lots of people. That's what I like doing. So as long as I can keep doing that,
Yeah?
Yeah.
that's it
I
really.
think, yeah, just continuing our creative endeavours, really, and seeing what's possible. Like, I see in bands in some ways as a less like a rigid structure, and for it to just be like the noise that 3 people make, and just to continue exploring that and having sort of no boundaries on what we want to do, really.
It'd be nice to reinvent ourselves a few times along the way as
Yeah.
well, I think.
You know,
Yeah.
just there's so much that we're all into, and there's so
What do
much.
you reckon, Layla? You up for us reinventing ourselves a few times?
But the music we listen. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, come on, mate. I'll try now. I'm here sat down. The music we listen to is so eclectic, so I think we just want to continue to explore that more and play as many shows as possible, and just watch our very blessed and beautiful lives to continue to develop.
Yeah. You've got that sort of storytelling vibe about what your music. Is that going to continue, or are you going to go into a bit more rocky? I don't know. Like...
Yeah, well, the narrative, sort of the loose narrative that it sort of runs through as a theme throughout a lot of our songs is like our source of energy to like keep creating, and I like to think that story will just continue and evolve and maybe see some newer characters that come in and sort of cause a stir, maybe. You know?
Okay.
We've been having a think about a kind of love saga recently, though, haven't we? Trying that out a little bit. So,
a love saga.
There's all sorts of things to write about, isn't there? I don't think you have to go one way.
I think what ultimately the sort of the things that we're addressing in our songs are just things that everybody kind of goes through, whatever it might be, and what you've heard so far is just a part of that story that we're talking about. So in whatever form, hopefully it can people can kind of get it because of that, because it's just everyday life. Like we, just wander about doing our thing, go to work, come home, blah blah blah, feel the things you feel as a young man in the modern day, and that's the only basis of which we can talk from. But I hope people can relate to it in some way.
It always takes me a long time to notice the lyrics in a song, but I really enjoyed working with these two early on because they're kind of really in touch with what's going on with themselves emotionally and really good at translating that into their music.
Yeah.
So I think, as long as we just keep writing from the way we're feeling, that's the only kind of...
That's all you've got, really.
Yeah.
Bit of social commentary, never anyone.
That's right. Yeah. Right. So, lastly, we're not going to talk about slaves.
Well done.
So,
Well
what
done.
we're going to do is we're going to challenge you
To not talk
to a
about
bottle of
slaves.
gin.
No! Really?
So you could win this lovely
See it off.
bottle of Colombo number 7
I thought you
gin.
meant a different kind of challenge.
That's proper.
You meant like down the fucking bottle.
No.
About to go on
Other gins are
Like a
available.
10-piece.
Proper stuff. It's very good.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow!
So we're going to place that here.
That's fun.
I've
got
got
slaves
3
trivia.
questions for you.
No,
got slaves
okay,
trivia?
Right, don't,
No.
don't rush in.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Confer. You can confer. You can
Don't
confer.
think I'll do it for you boys.
Okay. It's the Spoons Quiz.
Oh no! I hate spoons.
Okay. Right.
No, we don't.
You should be able to get these. You should be able to get these
Okay.
because there's a reference in there. Right.
Great.
So what is on the Wetherspoons menu? What is the most calorific dinner on the menu?
It's one of the.
Obviously a
it's
large
one of
mixed
the, no, it's
grill,
one of the burgers.
Gourmet burger.
No,
the ultimate
look,
gourmet
look.
burger.
Oh,
We're conferring, Joe. We're not giving an answer. Come on.
It's got to be a large mixed grill.
Large mix. No, but I think one of the burgers.
Didn't he say there's a reference?
Oh, yeah,
He definitely
large
said
mixed
there's
grill.
a reference. I can
Correct. The
probably
large
just-
mixed grill. It actually has 1,980 calories in it.
Whoa! How many? 9,000.
1,900.
1,000. You can eat that in one.
Okay. What 3 ingredients make up a woo-woo?
And it's not a turbo one.
No, a woo-woo.
We can tell you how to make a turbo woo-woo.
No, but that just involves champagne and woo-woo.
So,
What woo-woo is?
There's a bottle of gin in this, boys.
No, it's vodka.
Probably
Yeah,
vodka,
vodka.
squash and...
Vodka, no, but it's there's WKD.
Let's go blackcurrant squash.
There's vodka, lemonade.
Haley, you're
I'll
well
give you cranberry juice.
Cranberry
I was
juice,
just
yeah.
about to say that.
I'll give you vodka
Yeah, 'cause it's-
and 1 extra.
And isn't it
I've got no idea.
WK?
I thought he was talking about a picture of some cartoon woman.
Let's just guess the other ingredient, right?
Vodka, cranberry juice, peach
Peach
snap.
snap.
Correct. Well done. Right.
Oh, we're so close to the
God, do you know what? It's funny. I just
It just came to us
Yeah,
then, didn't it? At the
just
same
came to you.
time.
Sometimes-
Okay,
sometimes
now
you've
here's
got to
the
listen
big
to
one.
what's
Here's the
going
big
on
one.
around you.
Right. What year did JD Wetherspoon buy the Opera House in Tunbridge Wells?
That's a great question.
That is a fucking solid.
Layla, what do you reckon?
Well, I reckon.
97?
No, I reckon. Yeah, I reckon 90s was probably. But what was it doing up until like fucking 1990?
It's not Browns.
But was it just that? Like,
Might have
it's
been
quite for people
97.
that were born in 1993 or in the 90s. It's quite hard to imagine the Opera House ever being anything but a spoons.
Correct.
So
Correct. So maybe it was in the 80s.
97.
Here you go, boys.
No
Oh, you unbelievable.
97!
Very well done.
fucking no.
Hey man, I'm just connected, man. It was the 3D glasses. I could see into your mind. It was there.
Very good. Thank you very much.
Thank
Cheers.
you.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Cheers.